If you're going through a spiritual awakening, or even just wondering if you're going through a spiritual awakening and you're looking for answers you can trust to guide you through, well, you're in the right place, because that is literally my mission, to provide them. My name is Sophia Persephone, and I'm a channel for Source Energy, Athena, and the Council of Light. I've known since very early on in my own awakening that I came here to teach, and I'm very lucky to have close to unrestricted access to the Council. So for the past few years, I've been learning everything I possibly can about the awakening process and how the universe really works, so I can help people like you on the awakening path. And by the way, these two things are completely intertwined, so we have to try to understand them both. Now, my own conscious awakening kicked off in 2019, went like an absolute rocket through the COVID years, and then I completed the integration process around the middle of 2022. So that means now I'm in post-transcendence and all of the machinery is in place for ascension, and I use that machinery to explore different ways to access and use my highest potential. And that is what spiritual awakening is actually all about. So if you're awakening, hopefully that's what you're going to do too. You're going to reach your highest soul potential. Even though I happen to be a channel for Athena and for the Council, that's not really how I think of myself. If anything, I think of myself as being a cross between a philosopher or metaphysicist and an experimental scientist, and maybe a data analyst. Maybe a researcher, which all makes sense because my soul is Sophia from the Council of Light, and she looks after those kinds of things, philosophy, science, and the realm of learning. But I guess what I'm really trying to say is I don't just take the information I receive from the Council as being automatically correct, because there are rules to this game, and they can't always give you the full picture. Now, you'll know that yourself if you're at the stage of awakening when you're receiving messages and signs. You have to build the story up yourself piece by piece. It does get easier the further through awakening you go, but there are always limits and boundaries. So what I do is I interrogate what the Council and Athena tell me in various ways. I do a lot of thought experiments, a bit of mind gymnastics. I research, I survey, and I also interview a lot of other awakeners. I'm building a picture in my mind of how everything works. It's kind of a new paradigm or a sort of unified theory of everything. And I invite contribution from the people who follow my channel to help me build up that picture. When I get information that doesn't quite fit this paradigm, I'm very careful not to dismiss it, but instead I ask myself, what haven't I understood yet? Now, I'm really scrupulous about this because we're so early on in this new age of enlightenment that we really don't understand that much at all. Just the big building blocks. Now, in the way of these things, I'm actually quite well equipped for this mission because before my awakening, I was a leader in big business and I managed teams working with enormous data sets. Now, that experience taught me that opinion is the enemy of truth. So I task myself to remain objective as far as I possibly can. And in my videos, I will tell you how things are as far as I understand them at that moment. But the story might evolve over time. In fact, it almost certainly will as I collect more information or find a new piece of the puzzle. And for me, and hopefully for you, that journey of discovery is part of the joy of this whole thing. In my spiritual awakening coaching practice, I learn as much as I teach. And being given the opportunity to be part of this community and to help people reach their potential is both humbling and joyful in equal measure, especially as really all I'm doing is helping people like you open their own internal door to power. So I really hope that you will join me on this fantastic voyage as you rediscover who you are and what you came here to do.